Sounds like you might get your guy back in Jamar. What's that like knowing he could be available this week?
Yeah, he's been working hard, resting, doing rehab, so hopefully we can get him back to practice this week and get him feeling good.
Now that there's a little bit of sample size without Jamar, have you kind of noticed how defenses have played you differently, or if they haven't played you differently in his absence?
A little more man without him, which is expected.
What have the conversations been like between y'all as he's kind of been out and the preparation, even though he's not playing?
Yeah, he's been in some of the meetings. He obviously has a lot of rehab to do, but he's stayed engaged, been exactly the kind of teammate you would expect.
What do you make of that receiving room as a whole? It seems like there's a really good vibe in there. How long has that kind of been that case for you? How long have you seen that?
It's been that way since I've been here. They have got really good people in that room that work hard, matters to them. They're gonna, maybe they don't do everything perfect every single time, but they're gonna play really hard. They're gonna block their asses off for the run game. Just matters a lot to them, and they're fun guys to be around.
How often, and obviously Jamar's one of your good friends, how often have you talked to him about the injury or the fact that you knew he was kind of shut down for 4 weeks? Did you just talk about other stuff?
Yeah, we didn't talk about the injury too much. I asked him every now and then, but I know as soon as he's ready to go, he'll be back ready to play and keep making plays.
Is there anything that you learned about yourself as a quarterback while he was out? I mean, is there something that was revelatory at all? I mean, was there anything that was unexpected while he was away that you kind of picked up on?
No, not particularly. I am who I thought I was.
Now that other guys have expanded roles as such a little bit and stepped up and made plays, did it kind of give you a confirmation of what you expected out of those guys, and now you know what you can expect when they're out there playing?
Yeah, I knew, a guy like Trenton Irwin, I knew exactly what I was going to get when he gets on the field. In practice, he does exactly what he's supposed to do, runs the route exactly the way you expected. He's going to be right where he's supposed to be at the time he's supposed to be there, and that's what you need out of a guy like that. He's going to play hard, and he's going to catch balls when his opportunity comes.
How much will you monitor Jamar this week, asking how he's doing, all of the is that something you do or have to do?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how he's feeling. We expect him to play. I know he ran yesterday and he felt good, so we'll see how it goes the rest of the week.
You're playing a team like the Titans, kind of similar to Atlanta in terms of like time of possession and what they want to do with Derrick Henry. Given how you guys seem as an offense to really play a lot better when you get out with a win, is that an extra emphasis this week, getting out with the lead?
Yeah, whenever you play a team like this that likes to run the ball, your possessions might be limited throughout the game, so you got to make the most out of them. And obviously jumping out to an early lead will put these guys in a position that maybe they're not used to or maybe they don't want to be. So that's our plan, but the game goes as the game goes, and whatever's the game requires is what we'll do. If we have to come back from a deficit, that's what we'll have to do, but that's obviously not ideal.
You've played a few games like this against those teams that can run the ball pretty effectively. I mean, how much does that change the game plan when you know there might be fewer possessions?
It doesn't change the game plan. It just, puts some more urgency in you. You got to make the most out of every possession that you get.
Last game you played against them in the playoffs, 9 sacks, but you threw for way over 300 yards. I mean, you're in a game like that where, you had that combination. It's kind of an odd combination to have that much success with that much pressure.
Yeah, that's sometimes games go that way. It's they got a good front, so they're going to get pressure, but it's going to be about how we handle it and get the ball out quickly, get our completions and move the ball up and down the field.
What do you remember the most about that Tennessee game and kind of what it did for you all in that playoff run?
Tough physical game. They always bring the physicality, so we got to match, if not exceed their effort and their physicality, and that's how we're going to have to win the game.
I think that game is one of the reasons that Kappa and Karras and Cordell even are here right now. What kind of growth have you seen from that interior of the O-line from week 1 till now, just as a unit?
Yeah, I think those guys are playing as good as anybody in the league right now. As much as we just straight drop back, it's really been great to see the growth of of those guys up front, and the communication and the camaraderie and chemistry. We got a great culture in that room, and they just keep getting better and better. I'm really excited about where they're at.
With them setting the depth of the pocket and just keeping the pressure at bay, what does that allow you to do more of? How does that help you?
Yeah, it makes it easier on me because I can step up into the pocket and really, drive throws where those guys are being really firm and protecting great inside, and so I can set the pocket deep and step up and make tight throws down the field without anybody on my feet, and it really lets me step into that and drive it.
Is it a trust level thing? Because, I mean, the other day you were stepping up, moving all around, and seeing the field really well, obviously. Did you notice that you were able to, even when there was a breakdown, say for Cordell or whoever, you were able to hide that, mask that, and get the ball down the field?
Yeah, that's, when everyone is working together as a unit, then there's always space for me to step up and try to make plays and escape the pocket if it's not there. And like I said, those guys are not just, even if they lose, they're still fighting and they're always there. They're never just, they don't get beat at the line of scrimmage and then give up. If they get beat early, they're going to fight back and, get a piece of them, so then maybe I can step up and get out.
Since that game, how have you improved against pressure? What have you done to be better against pressure since that game?
I've just seen more football. I, can get the protections directed, a little better than I could. Just getting the ball out quickly, another year in the offense, understanding where the ball is supposed to go.
Is that maybe the biggest thing is getting the ball out because you know where, because you just had more reps and threw it more?
Yeah, I mean, we do a good job against zone and man coverage of finding zones as receivers and understanding when the ball is going to be out, and so you got to credit those guys too.
How good have you guys become at making in-game adjustments and also week-to-week adjustments?
Yeah, that's where our coaching staff kind of excels, is making those halftime adjustments, seeing what defense is trying to do to us, and making those adjustments to go attack it. And like I've said, I couldn't ask for a better group of coaches that are one, able to do it, and two, trust what I see as well to go out and make those adjustments on the fly.
So, like in the second half Sunday in Pittsburgh, what would you say, without giving away game plans and all that, the X's and O's, what would you say you felt most comfortable about the adjustments in the second half?
Well, I was happy that I thought we were able to run the ball really well in the second half. That was a big point of emphasis going in. They're a really good front and a really good defense that's able to stop the run, and we made some great run game adjustments at halftime to kind of open up those holes for us.
I believe 5 of your next 7 opponents are ahead of you guys in standings. Has that been something that you guys have kind of talked about, and is that an important discussion as you come through the league?
Not too much. We're going to take it a week at a time. We know we're capable of playing and beating anybody, so we just got to go out and execute the way we are and have been.
I think it's the first of 3 games we faced the division champs from last year. I mean, what is that like when you have those caliber opponents on the back half of the schedule? You got ready for playoffs?
Playoff football. All these games matter. They're going to matter in the standings down the road, and so we got to go out and play our best ball at the right time.
This Titans defense giving up 18.5 points a game. Sometimes its scheme makes the players better. Sometimes the players make the scheme better.
Yeah.
Is Tennessee kind of, they got a little bit of it all?
Yeah, they're one of those teams that has both. They have really smart players that have been in this scheme, in this defense for a while, and they know how to play it and how to disguise it. And then they have really good players that can make plays on the ball and get pressure up front, and so they make it really hard on you.
I asked Brian about this last week, and I know you've always been really confident in what T. Higgins can do, but with the last games that he's had without Jamar Chase, kind of talking about how he's able to play as the #1 wide receiver. From a quarterback's perspective, I asked Brian if is it a go ball type receiver like T, is he able to be a #1 wide receiver in the NFL compared to the guys like Jamar, Cooper Kupps, that they move all around the field? Why is having a player like T and his skill set important to have in your offense as a #1 receiver?
He's a really smart guy that not just understands what we're trying to do in the pass game, in the run game as well, and he's not scared to go in and block a safety when we need him to. So he really understands what we're trying to do. He's the kind of guy that, if you tell him one thing one time, he's going to go out and do it. You don't have to tell him multiple times about certain things, and so he's everything you could ask for.
Do you think you guys have a mature team?
Yeah, very mature. A lot of our, key players are young guys, but we've played a lot of football. We have the right veteran guys mixed in throughout the roster that have been around the league. Guys like Michael Thomas on special teams, great locker room guy. Some of these guys that, Kevin Hubers of the world that have been around here a long time, that have seen a lot of things and kind of help us, guide us through that. But we've been through a long playoff stretch now, and we know what it's going to take down the stretch to get to where we want to get to. So we have the experience to go and do it. We just got to execute.
I guess the reason I ask that is because you see changes all over the NFL. Quarterbacks get changed, different wide receivers, whatever, changes get made. And it seems like this team, there's like a calmness about it. Even when you guys lose a couple of games, there's no panic.
Yeah,
You said that before.
Yeah, we know the kind of team that we are. We show it at practice every day. We practice hard, and we work really hard to improve upon the reps that we've had that maybe aren't great, and we don't go out and make the same mistake twice. And then I think you got to credit the culture of the team and the locker room, and what Zach preaches every day. I think that's why you see, when Jamar and Joe Mixon goes out, you see guys step up and make plays. When DJ goes out, Jay Tufele comes in and is making plays on defense. And I just think that's a credit to the coaches and those guys themselves.
Along similar lines, there's been a lot of conversations in the league the last couple of days about how much accountability a quarterback should take and kind of what needs to be done privately, publicly. How have you kind of approached that in the league? And is that something that you've been cognizant of as you got into it and then continue your career?
Yeah, I think I think that's one of my strengths as a quarterback. You're kind of relaying a message to you guys, the media, and to the fans about what the locker room thinks week to week, and you're doing it in a diplomatic way. And I think that's something that I've always been good at, is understanding the message that I want to get across, and choosing my words carefully to do it.
You've got football IQ, obviously. Your receivers, T, you talked about how smart he is. Tyler Boyd, you said the same thing. Jamar, you said the same thing. You guys come off the field almost on an every series basis. Do you get together and say, and listen to each other, and you got this input, that input, and then go from there? Yeah,
it depends on the series. Sometimes there's stuff to talk about, and sometimes there isn't. Sometimes what's understood doesn't need to be talked about. And we got, I was, TB didn't have a lot of targets throughout the game, and then you see him step up in the fourth quarter making huge catches for us down the stretch, and that's credit to the culture in that room and in the locker room, that maybe if things aren't going your way, you're not gonna sit and pout. You're gonna, when your opportunity comes, it's gonna matter, and you got to credit TB for that, and that's what I love about those guys. There's no ego. There's no oh man, I didn't get a touchdown this game. Oh, I'm not getting targets. They're gonna go out and do what they're supposed to do, and when their opportunity comes, they're gonna make it.
It didn't look like they were doubling T much. Did they double Tyler? Were they trying to take him away?
Depend. They did a couple times over the middle. They did a good job kind of disguising it.
Joe, what's your experience with revenge or revenging games, payback games, whether it was your guys against the Steelers for the opener or them for this playoff loss last year in their place? How big of a factor, and do you believe in using it as a motivation, and how do you see it from the other side?
No, not really. Every game is its own entity, and obviously, you think about it, but it doesn't really affect your game planning or the way you play or the way you practice or anything.
Along the lines of the guys coming on, sorry, up against it?
The last question.
Last one, okay. What, same line about the guys coming off the bench. What does it mean when you actually see P. Ryan, Travion Williams, Chrisman, Taylor Britt? What does it actually mean that these guys step up and do something? Is it a tangible?
Yeah, I think it's just where we're at as a team, as an organization. We're building a culture here of winning, and when you're number is called, you're expected to come in and do the job. And it's also a credit to those guys who maybe aren't getting the reps throughout the weeks, and then all of a sudden they're thrown into the fire, and they've excelled. And it's credit to them. It's credit to our team culture and the culture that we're building, and we bring in the right people to go out and make those plays.